So she started the conversation on Instagram. She just said, hey. I said, hey back. She said, welcome to my boring Instagram world. I replied saying it's getting more mysterious and then boring. The conversation carried on pretty innocent from there. She asked me about myself and what I was looking for in a relationship kind of thing. And then immediately after that, they switched the direction of the conversation.
This is Jack, and this is how his conversation with his blackmailer began.
He'd met what he thought was a girl on a dating app, and she asked to take the conversation to Instagram, where things quickly got personal.
Once they had moved the conversation into that kind of direction, I expressed like a few times that I was kind of nervous about it and that it's not something that I'm used to.
They sent a nude first, then Jack sent one back, and this exchange continued for about 10 minutes. Then the threats began.
After the fourth image, that was when they sent me, obviously, like a pre-written, very long message. It was a screenshot of a group set up with all of my contacts on Instagram, and then it's a message following that said, I can make you go viral on all your socials to your family and friends. Once you think your life and reputation is more valuable than money, let's negotiate on price.
This sort of scam is something millions of people around the world have been through.
It's called sextortion.
Sextortion is when really morally disturbed people try to exploit human sexuality, which is a totally natural, fundamental part of human life.
Put that in the dictionary.
There are two main types. There's financial sexual extortion, which is done for money, and non-financial sexual extortion, which is done to manipulate the victim into doing a specific act for the perpetrator.
And unfortunately, all forms are becoming more common.
In the last half of last year, the E-Safety Commissioner received more than 2,000 reports of sextortion here in Australia. Most of the victims were young men and boys, some under 15 years old.
Unfortunately, we're starting to see these organised criminals targeting younger people, younger boys, 14, 15, 16. That's a little bit more rare, but we really worry about that.
And according to the E-Safety Commissioner, AI is making these scams more sophisticated, giving criminals easy access to an alias or helping them create deepfake sexualized images, which is something that happened to Mateo.
So about a couple of years ago, I received a friend request online through Snapchat from someone who I believed to be genuine. It said I had about 40 mutual friends with them. Even their Snap score was like high enough to be legitimate. So all the signs did point towards it being a real person, and I do like to think of myself as pretty switched on online. Before I knew it, they were threatening to send what looked like explicit images of me to my friends and family unless I paid them. They were asking for about $500 at the time. Even though the image wasn't real, in the moment it felt very real to me.
Mateo says that since then, AI tech has come a long way.
These criminals don't necessarily need a real intimate image anymore. They can manipulate ordinary photos that people post every day.
The misuse of AI at the moment against innocent people who have never done anything wrong, it's really quite a concern for us.
Jo Cameron is a commander with the Human Exploitation Branch in the AFP, and she says sextortion is hard to fight because many scammers are based overseas.
It's really hard for the police to find these offenders and bring them to court like we normally would and prosecute them because they're often overseas.
There are some major criminal, organised criminals that are perpetrating this. One is known as the Yahoo Boys, and they're based out of Nigeria. But we also are seeing call centers being weaponized in the evening in places like Manila or Delhi. So they can come from anywhere.
It's why many want the tech companies to take more responsibility by flagging fake accounts and permanently banning reported scammers.
They could be looking and using technologies that are readily available today, like geographical indicators. They could be sending notes to people going, hey, this person who's just reached out to you, they're not from your neighboring suburb. They're from Lagos, Nigeria. Are you sure you know this person? Easy to do. They're also starting to use things like nudity detection in live streaming, such as in Xbox, but also iMessage now has a nudity blocking tool. They could pick that up as well.
I reached out to the big social media companies and I asked them what they're doing about sextortion.
Meta, Snapchat and TikTok all got back to me and said it's something they take very seriously and that they're actively working to fight it. Meta said it's using technology designed to detect grooming and sextortion in chats with minors, and that they blur nude images in DMs and warn people of the risks before they send them. It also directed us towards the Take It Down tool, which is a program they helped found to stop intimate imagery being shared. The company said it's also testing new technology, which would alert teens if they're talking to someone from another country, and that they work with other tech companies and law enforcement to share data on known criminals. Snapchat also says it has technology to detect and remove predators before they cause harm, and 24/7 safety teams who act on reports. They've also got their own educational resources and work with authorities. And TikTok said when it saw clear evidence of unlawful behaviour, it would remove content, terminate accounts, and stop people from creating new ones, in some cases reporting it to authorities.
I'm not real. I'm here to blackmail you.
The E-Safety Commissioner has released a campaign to educate people on what to look out for.
I just want a naughty pic so I can use it against you.
And authorities say if you're targeted by a sextortionist, don't panic and don't pay.
So what you do need to do is first of all stop the chat with that person. You can collect some information about that person, whether it's their profile or their URL or what platform you're on. You can report it to the platform and they can block the accounts. You can report it to E-Safety for the takedown of that material if it's circulating.
We have a 98% success rate in terms of getting intimate imagery down. So what might seem like the end of the world as you're going through it, there are people who are here to help and who want to help.
The seriousness of sextortion, that's the issue, and you being victimised is the issue, and that's our focus, is to help you get out of that situation.
And while sextortion is a really traumatic thing to go through, Jack and Matteo say it's really important to remember that you're not alone and it's not your fault.
I immediately sort of thought to call my best friend and support. And she was an absolute angel, guardian angel.
I think a lot of people who are victims of it may carry embarrassment or shame, but the fact that he told me, all I could think of was to be there for him.
Me and my friends were able to laugh about afterwards and kind of see a more positive side of the situation, have an outcome that wasn't just okay, but almost like a funny story, a memory that we bonded over, rather than something that was horrific to deal with.
Remember that asking for help is a sign of strength. It's not embarrassment.